we go to the first speaker, which is Natalia from Anzu. Anzu is one of the first agencies specialized in in-game advertising. And we see Natalia here online at the presentation. Natalia, welcome.
Hi, everyone.
The floor is yours.
Great. Hi, everyone. It's great to be part of the show virtually, but still. I hope that you enjoy it, in the room, and all the people who look at this, via Zoom as me. Okay, cool. So let's get started. And I think that's the last slide that is displayed. So can you please? Yes, thank you. Great. So thanks for having me today. And I'm Natalia, VP Marketing at Anzu, the world's most advanced in-game advertising platform. Today, we'll talk about a very beautiful and unknown and mysterious thing called the Metaverse. The notion that has been with us for a while, but has just been tested during the COVID days. And now we see it exploding. We see everyone talking about it. And I'm sure that if I ask every one of you in the studio what the Metaverse is, you would probably give me different answers. But most of the answers would be different pieces of the same puzzle called the Metaverse, because the Metaverse is so ambiguous and diverse that we still have to explore and to know and to see how diverse it is. Together with the Metaverse, we are also talking about the upcoming Web 3.0, and we are kind of saying goodbye to flat 2D web that we are used to, and we are diving and entering the era of three-dimensional images, the three-dimensional internet that we can be part of, which is more diverse, creative, and so let's embark. The Metaverse. To begin with, I would want to touch upon the core elements that are associated with the Metaverse, at least today. And first of all, talking about the Metaverse, all of us know that it's social. We come there to communicate, to socialize with peers. And as I mentioned, during the coronavirus days, we were forced to do this, and we could do it very well. The parties, birthdays, funerals, weddings, graduation ceremonies, all of it took place in the Metaverse. So we kind of, Metaverse proved that it had its place in our physical and then digital world. Limitless. It is limitless in terms of the number of worlds, the number of users. It has the limitless creative potential. So I already mentioned it's diverse, even more diverse that we can think about. User defined. That's another great thing about the Metaverse. The user defines their own world, their own rules, their own vicinities, and all of us can come there and build what we want, and then invite our friends to join us. Every day, it has become part of our everyday life, day in, day out. Millions of people spend their time in the Metaverse, and you saw this judging by the amount of users that spend time on Roblox and other platforms as well in the quiz that we just did now. Decentralized. There is no one ownership, and that's another beautiful thing about it. The ownership is distributed, and there is another notion connected to decentralized that will come soon. So creative, I already touched upon the limitless creative potential. It unlocks creativity and gives us so many things we can do there across industries, as advertisers, as marketers, as governmental establishments, vast potential that we just need to leverage. Interoperable. So that's another thing connected to decentralized. Basically, we are good to go in Roblox and then switch to Fortnite and then come to Minecraft. We grab all our belongings, our digital citizenship, and we travel from a world to another world, which is amazing in my opinion. reactive. It's all about the creator first economy, and it's about real time. We act and we react. All of the interactions happen in real time. And the last one is persistence. It's persistence in its existence, and we are there every day, and we just continue building it, and it does not go away. On top of it, there are even more reasons to stay in the metaverse, and more reasons for advertisers and marketers across all the industries to come there and explore it, because we can do music, shopping, learning, whatever we are thinking about, theme parks, even health, dating, all of it is possible in the metaverse. Life happens in this metaverse, and I welcome you to try it. When we talk about the metaverse, we think that gaming is a highway into the metaverse, and also a huge entry point. And there are a lot of brands and advertisers that have already started to utilize it. And I want us to have a look at the examples and the activations that already took place. And it might help you to answer the question whether you need to be there, whether it's time for you or not yet. So, Electric Daisy Carnival on Roblox. The electronic music and event promoter Insomniac came to Roblox and established the first ever music festival on Roblox, and it was a huge success. And I already mentioned, that music is one of the big parts of the metaverse, and it just big examples, as I said, it's just the new era of music festivals taking place in the metaverse. Marathon in Decentraland. Decentraland is another metaverse, another gaming platform that we refer to as the metaverse. And actually, rapper Fat Joy, together with a Paralympic athlete, Blake Leeper, came to Decentraland and set up the first marathon that is called Degree Marathon, to promote diversity and inclusion into the metaverse. And actually, in Decentraland, dozens of miles became the marathon distance, and I think it's amazing. It's one of the most recent activations, by the way. Spotify and their island on Roblox. So Spotify is the first music streaming platform that came into the metaverse. They set up their own island, their own experience, where they enabled users to communicate with artists, to listen to the newest songs, and just have fun. And you see in the video on the right that it looks like fun, and it looks real. Pandora is the jewelry brand that's set up another island, this time in Animal Crossing. That's another game that we refer to as the Metaverse. And basically what they did, they wanted to promote their Pandora Me collection, and they set up this island where fans and gamers could try on stuff, take away stuff on top of it. And there is another beautiful thing about the Metaverse. Pandora created one of their factories using the solar batteries, showing how the jewelry creation process looks like. And that's amazing, because for me as a Pandora fan, that's the best opportunity to be closer to the brand, to share their values, to touch and feel the brand, and just enjoy it even more. And American Eagle came to Roblox and created their own experience, and it was a custom activation in one of the top 10 experiences on Roblox, Lifetopia. So they created, okay, let me show you what they created. Okay, so I think that you got an idea, and you also saw that they did it together with Anzu. So we helped them to execute it, and both the brands, Lifetopian and us, were surprised to see how much traction we got and how many new users Lifetopia got thanks to this activation, which actually is another proof that gamers and the American Eagle fans probably want to be closer to the brand, and it's a great way for them to try on the new collection, to enjoy activations introduced by the brand, and just to fall in love with the brand even more. I showed you a few examples across verticals for you to understand that it doesn't matter what kind of vertical you are from. The Metaverse is open to everyone, and there are a lot of creative ideas that you can explore. I know that the custom stuff takes a lot of time and finance and resource investment. And I just want to highlight another way to touch base the Metaverse. These are the kind of standard in-game banners and videos. And there are a few examples that we executed with a number of advertisers inside Roblox. So this is a banking ad. This is a campaign by HBO, and this is a campaign by Samsung. I just want to highlight that all of these brands belong to different categories, and they just wanted to try if the Metaverse was the right thing for them, and they just tried it with a kind of standard and the banners that can be created in a few days and do not take half a year in the development. And my idea is that you just need to give it a try via this or that activation, and test it and see how your audience reacts. I want to finalize with a few thought starters for you just to think about the beauty of the moment, and us as the industry being able, as an industry, as individuals and as marketers, being able to shape up the Metaverse, because this window will not last forever, but we have the luxury to influence and to decide what we want to see in the Metaverse, what we don't want to see in the Metaverse, in what way. And there are some points that I wanted to bring up and make you think a bit and then decide. So user-generated content. Creator economy is booming in the Metaverse and outside the Metaverse. If you're the brand who is still afraid of user-generated content, you can't avoid it. Users and gamers do not want to sit back anymore and just watch the activations. They want to be part of them. They want to shape them. They want to influence them. They want to touch, to feel, to have fun, to play at your tennis court, to swim in the pool that you created, or to do stuff together with a brand as Pandora did, for example. And you need to know about it if you're up for the Metaverse. And we don't know what and how the advertising will look like in the Metaverse. And most chances it won't be the advertising that we are used to. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about advertising, to get to the next stage, and you have a chance to influence, to shape it, and to build it the way you think works for your brand or would work for your brand. Incremental value. I think that we are at the point as marketers to think and to measure omni-channel. So if you want to have one activation and calculate and measure the ROI of this specific activation, it might not be the best approach, because it might not bring you the ROI you would want. And I do encourage marketers and advertisers to start thinking about their marketing mix together and see the incremental value and the cumulative ROI, so to say, that the brand awareness campaign or this activation that you would invest a lot of time and money into would bring to your brand sales strategy in the long term. Data and measurement. We need to build metrics on the go. And I think that's, we already mentioned at the beginning, that the Metaverse in its infancy, and advertising and brand activations, communication within the Metaverse is also in its infancy. As every new and emerging media channel, we need to define the metrics. And that's why I encourage you again to be part of it, to start and help to build the data, the measurement tools, what we want to see there, what we don't want to see there. That's just one thing to remember. You might not see the metrics that you're used to seeing in other channels, and it's absolutely fine. We just, as I mentioned, need to work as an industry to define the right metrics for the 3D world, for the metaverse, for the new requirements and the evolving user behaviors and requests. And last but not least, I think that I already mentioned this, the present and the future. It's about being now in the metaverse to build the future of your activations, of your presence within the metaverse, and the way the metaverse would look like, would perform. And this opportunity window would not be open forever. And that's something we need to remember. So I think that I helped you at least a bit to answer a question if it's the right time for you to tap into the metaverse. And my answer would be yes.
Thank you. You already took up all the time in your enthusiasm, but a very good story. You're very enthusiastic about the metaverse. And I have already some questions for you. I will keep it short. I have a question from Judith. She asks, who are the users currently? Are it mainly gamers? What is their profile?
That's a good question. I think that I mentioned that there are many entry points to the metaverse. It's not only gaming. So if you ask Meta about the entry point, they would say it's VR, for example. Again, then we are talking the VR user base. At the moment, probably the most active users are gamers, but there are fashion shows that take place in the metaverse. We already mentioned that there are so many activations like marathons and things like this that allow to invite more and more users, not only gamers. And I just read the Wonderman Thompson's report that came out just yesterday. According to it, 74 people around the world are familiar with the metaverse in 2022. In contrast, only 42 people were familiar with the metaverse in 2021. So to answer your question, I think it's evident that it's not only about gamers.
All right, clear. One last question, perhaps. Let's see. A question from Tim. Do you have any insights in average marketing investments versus the average reach? You already said the metrics are different. Can you measure how many people, the number of people that actually see or use it in the virtual world?
That's that's a good point, and it really depends on the platform. It really depends on the platform and the metrics that the platform shares. In general, obviously, the game developers or the creators of the metaverses know the number of users and their daily active users, their monthly active users, which give us, a good evidence of how many people saw the activation. So it is, it can be measured. And if we are talking about the activation, we're not talking about 1 day or 2 day activations, right? So in terms of the reach, it's easy to measure it. When it comes to details like geos and age, it really depends on the platform. It is available, again, limited to, to this or that metric, depending on the platform. But the reach is obviously possible to measure.
All right. Thank you. One last short question, and I hope in short answer also because of the time. Who or what makes the rules in the metaverse? You already mentioned something about that.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try to be short. I would say both users and platforms, and I'll explain why. We are talking about sensitive, ages, kids. Okay, and privacy needs to be first. So platforms are very, very strict, and they take it seriously when it comes to privacy and making sure that, be it an advertiser or a creator who is in the metaverse, they need to abide by this rule. So it's the platform, and I think it's the best approach. And obviously, it's influenced by the society, by parents who are happy or not happy. And on the other side, these are the creators, because obviously they also have a lot of freedom when it comes to certain rules within their own experiences.
All right. So we still don't need the police for that.
Hopefully, no.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.